What's up, world? Wake y'all asses up. This is another episode of. So with this one right here, y'all, I just want to do just a recap of things I learned and experiences from 2019. Man, this the recap. And man, 2019 was such an amazing year for me. The last one was the last one I did for 2018 uh, was I made it through 2018, and I guess with this one, I would say I grew in 2019. Like that was a big year of growth for me, and one of the things that I really wanted to focus, or some of the things that I really wanted to focus on for 2019, it wasn't so much like financial stuff. um I had some financial goals that I didn't quite hit, but I got really close to. And considering some of the financial difficulties I had in the first half of the year, I was very proud of myself for like how I bounced back and everything. So but it was more so for me was really working on my mental self and my emotional and my spiritual self. One of the things that I really wanted to focus on this year was unconditional love, was learning to love without strings attached. Learn to love people and things and situations and just life in general without any conditions attached to it. So whether things was going good for me, whether things was going bad, like I was learning to really love life, love myself, whether I was doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing. Like I was just learning to love unconditionally. And I think that's something for myself I really focused on and felt like I did a really good job of that. I'm not all the way there yet. Shoot, far as that, I don't know if I'll ever fully all the way be there, but that's something I'm definitely going to strive towards. Was learning to love unconditionally, man. This 2019 was the first year like I told some of my homeboys like, yo, I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like the first time I ever told them that. You know, 2019 I had some really great conversations with my parents to get a better understanding of, you know, my upbringing, their upbringing, and really kind of bridging that gap to get a better idea of my family history. Um, Having deep conversations with my brothers and sisters. Um, it was so much like amazing things. I still had like trials and tribulations. Shoot, I had really good conversations with my ex-wife, like really good conversations and really good clarity for us and us going forward, as far as like co-parenting and things like that. 2019 was a really special year for me. I grew so much. That was another thing I wanted to work on, my spiritual and mental and emotional growth. Really just tackling books, like really getting into books, really working on like vision boards and really getting into writing down my thoughts and my feelings. Uh Towards the end of the year, I finally got back into writing music again and making my beats and stuff like that. Like 2019 was a really good bounce back year for me. And I think well, let me give y'all just like a rundown. So 2019 I really broke down in halves. So it was from January to June and then from June to December. January to June was a big learning period. Like it was a lot of stuff I learned. Like that was the time like I really got back into the dating field, really got back to like to talking to other people. I met some amazing women, um some women that really left a big impression on me, that were really good, women that I won't forget. You know what I'm saying? So like that period, during that period I did a lot of dating, a lot of meeting new people. Um, a lot of just figuring out like, yo, where do I go from here? Figuring out really the co-parenting thing. Um, just really trying to get used to that. And with all of that came some financial setbacks. It came some financial setbacks because like I was dating so much, and I'm the type of guy like if I ask you out, I want to pay. I'm gonna pay for everything. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I am. And so like I was doing a lot of dating, and I felt like I needed that. I felt like I needed that because I did so much work on myself, and so much like self love and self care and things like that that I really felt good about myself and I felt confident. But it's something special about hearing that from other people. Like I never take that for granted now. When the compliments you get, like, oh, you look good, oh, you such a good person, like you talk so well. Like when you hear those type of compliments, especially coming from beautiful women, yo, it you really get like not addicted, but like you just you want more of it. You know what I'm saying? You like to hear it, you like that feeling. Um Being around a woman, a beautiful woman's presence, especially women in general, but especially like women that you find attractive, that you have like that physical connection with. And I'm not even talking about a sexual thing. I'm just talking about that initial like, oh, like she's beautiful. Like I like the way she look at me. You know what I'm saying? Like the way she talk, the way she walk. She got a nice body. Like that initial contact, and then just being around that person and just vibing off of the energy that both people give off. Like I just like that, like excuse me. I just really like that feeling, you know what I'm saying? And during that time of that first half of 2019, I was I was dating a lot, I was being around uh different women, and different women that brought different things to the table. Like each one was like so different and unique in their own way, and it was just something special about that, and it helped me later on with figuring out, okay, I know now what I don't like, because sometimes you don't know what you don't like until you come across it, or I seen like, oh, I really do like this. Because this, when you with the same woman for like, we was together 5-6 years, you kind of forget that, you got to get back out in the field, get your feet wet, you got to talk to people. And so that's what I was doing. And so I would say like the first half of 2019 was me working on self-improving, and then uh my interaction with other women. That's what that first half was. And I definitely did a lot of both. And it started getting to the point where I had so many different options, and talking to different women, and setting up like so many dates, or like having to talk to so many women on the phone and stuff. Like it really started after a while cutting into my me time. It really started cutting into my me time. And the one thing, I never let that affect my time with my daughter. Like I never let that affect my time with my daughter. So my daughter always came first, and my daughter always, I set time aside for her. Like when I had her, that I could spend really good quality time with her. So dating, having my daughter, working, businesses. I launched the Rebuilding Men at the beginning of January. Um, and really, I didn't have no type of turnout with that. Then I had the podcast that I really started trying to get more into, and towards the beginning of the year, uh, I was more. I think I was a little bit more consistent towards the beginning half, that first half of 2019. I was definitely more consistent with that. But it was just about learning to communicate and just really putting myself back out there again. And so when I was doing all of that, that first half of 2019, it was really, it went really well, but towards like that May, June-ish time, it started feeling overwhelming. Um, I felt like I put too much on my plate, far as talking with women, and then you still gotta make time for your friends, and you got family that you want to spend time with, and my daughter, and work and stuff like that. Like it started getting overwhelming. And then also at the same time, like I had the house that me and my ex lived in, that I was just, like I told y'all the situation with Made It Through 2018, about the house being in like having mold and all of that type of stuff. And so like I was working on trying to get that stuff straight, so spending money on that, trying to fix the house and stuff up, but really didn't want to stay there because like first off, our house was out in Chesterfield. So anybody that's familiar with the area of Richmond, Chesterfield about a good 25-30 minute drive. I work in Richmond, my parents in Richmond, my daughter in Richmond, my ex's family all in Richmond. So it's like, dang, like I really don't need to be out in Chesterfield. So really, I was barely at my house. I was barely at my house. So really, I was just paying a mortgage, but I won't even stand there. So spending money on that and things of that nature, it just, I was digging myself into like a financial hole. And then like I was dealing with, like I said, I just overloaded my plate. I just had too much stuff on my plate. And so like it started off good in January, and then I just got rocking and rolling as I went on, but then over a while I just had too much stuff on my plate when I got to like June. And then when June came around, things started to change and my perspective started to change. So instead of focusing on, my interaction with women and getting to know a bunch of women and stuff like that, my focus started shifting more towards my businesses and financial, and getting my financial self back straight. Because it's tough, y'all, when you go from being in a two income household to just one. And like I said, I'm still trying to take care of my house and still making that a mortgage payment and stuff on it, and trying to take care of my daughter and help out with her, with my ex and all of that stuff. Like it started weighing on you financially. And so I got to the point, and then on top of that, like I was spending so much money on dates and stuff. Like when I look back, I'm not mad at it because I needed that process. Like I need to put myself back out there, and that helped me build up my confidence more to be like, yo man, like I can go out here and talk to any woman I want to, like I'm a good catch, so it was necessary for me to do that. But I look back, I'm like, damn, I spent a lot of money. I'm like, yo, I spent some money. I was spending money, yo. And so when I started like really sat back and started like looking at my finances and be like, yo, all right, Paul, you gotta get yourself straight. And I looked at where my money was going. I'm like, yo, man, I gotta make some changes. So I'm not gonna say I cut off women, but like I just started really getting back totally focused on myself. And then, it was some that like still kind of hung around because they understood what I was trying to do. They supported me in that, and they became good people to confide in and talk to. And so like it was really good because I had to really kind of shift my focus and get back focused on what's more important now at this time. Okay, at that time it was putting myself out there, getting my confidence back up, uh just proving to myself that like, yo, I still got it a little bit. To be honest, that's probably, it was like, yo, Paul, you still got it. You good, man. You the man. And that's what I had to prove to myself. And so after I proved that to myself, it was like, okay, all right, now let's get back to business. And that's what I got focused on around June. And I had like great people like my boy Trayvon Pratt. He did the entrepreneurship, and we did the masculinity podcast together. I got reconnected back with him around June, and his entrepreneurship group, the AIM. And so when I got back plugged into that, that helped me kind of get back refocused and start focusing back on my businesses, the things that I'm passionate about, and really dive deep into like getting my financial situation straight. And so in June, that's around the time I got my house and stuff straight, and I got the house rented out, and I was so happy, and that took a big financial burden off of my back. And then I was able to really start focusing in on my support group, Rebuilding Men. Like that was so powerful to like really be able to focus in on that. And we had some really great meetings from June on, and we really built a good starting base of guys that like come out pretty consistently, especially towards the end of 2019. We consistently start having 4 and 5 and 6 guys come out, which is amazing to me because considering where I was at in 2018 and how low I was and the work I put in on myself, sometimes I wondered like why would people even want to come to a support group with me? Like I had those doubts, like what's special about me? But I really had to dig in and talk to myself and give myself that self-talk that like, yo, Paul, like you put a lot of work in to get to where you at. And the great thing about my support group is not like I'm trying to tell people what to do. I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm this perfect person, y'all need to follow my roadmap. I'm just here to just tell people my experiences in certain areas of life and what I did to put me in a situation where I feel comfortable where I'm at, to at least talk to other people and say, yo, this worked for me. And then the great thing about our support group is that everybody shares, everybody talks, and everybody learns. And I learn just as much as people learn from me in the support group. Um, I learn more from them. Like I get more strength and stuff from them than they might get from me. You know what I'm saying? And that's the purpose of it. Like it's to really rebuild men. Like to strengthen and reinforce the things that you believe are right as a man, the things that you believe the type of man should be. we I want to reinforce that and help you get to those goals. And by helping others, that really helped me. That helped me with my leadership. That helped me with my communication. It helps me with like so many different aspects of my life that like me really digging in, and at the end of 2019 focusing on that support group, it really started getting my wheels and stuff turning, and really got me focused in on the business aspect. So if excuse me, so if 2019, if the beginning of like the first half of 2019 was about me proving to myself I still got it, and like the the interactions with women, and like just working on myself and my confidence and my outward appearance, and my swagger and all of that stuff. I would say the second half of 2019 was just really about, okay, let's get down to business, let's get back to business. And that's what I did. And that at the second half of 2019, like that's what I focused on. It was getting back to business. It was like my passions and things that was important to me. I started back focusing on that. I went started like I said, really focusing on, like really focusing and really putting a lot more time and effort into my support group, getting back into my financial services businesses and stuff like that, and like focusing in on that. Also, the podcast, like I had some really great episodes of this podcast that came out that second half, because towards that second half of the year, I figured out my lane of what I want this podcast to be. And really, what you're going to hear a lot is a bunch of self growth, motivational, inspirational talk. That's what y'all going to hear. You're going to hear you're going to hear some jokes and some laughs and, some funny stories and all of that. But really, the gist of this podcast now will be about to motivate, to encourage, to uplift, to inspire, to help people look inside themselves and find the best parts of themselves and bring that out. That's what this podcast is going to be about. And halfway through 2019, the second half, like, I figured out what my lane was. Um, I got some other podcasts in the past that, you know, not really. It's still on that lane, but I was experimenting. I was trying to find my voice, and now I feel like I found my voice. I found my lane. I found my avenue, and I'm gonna just ride this out to the end. And so, 2019, man, it was a really good year. Like 2018 was the rough year where I had to build up my strength and my character, but 2019 was about my growth as a man, like my growth, like learning how to court a woman again. Like I had to relearn how to date, and it's a shame to say that when you was married, because when you married, you should continuously always be redating your wife. But I wasn't doing that, so like I had to go out here and learn how to date again, learn how to court, learn how to do all of that stuff. So I learned that. I had plenty of experience with that. Then going forward, it's like, okay, I know how to do that. Now, how do I get myself financially straight? How do I get myself in a better financial position? Like this year, I wanted to launch my clothing line, Nocrates. It didn't happen because I lost focus. Like I lost focus on what was important to me. So now we're going into 2020, and just to give y'all like some brief goals of mine that I would like to share is like the focus is this podcast. King of the Berries podcast is a focus going forward. Like I realized how many people I could touch through this podcast. I realized how strong the voice is. I realized how strong words are and how words can affect people. And I done had people come up like and message me and say, man, Paul, like your podcast helped get me through a tough time with a breakup, or like your podcast, you made some great points about learning to love yourself and things like that. And it's just so it's so touching, yo. It's so touching that somebody like me, I don't think I never thought my voice was that important. Like me growing up, I was a shy kid. When I started doing music, I named my mixtape The Rise of the Shy One. You know what I'm saying? I know that's a wild name for a rap mixtape, but I named my mixtape The Rise of the Shy One because I was learning back then, and I dropped that mixtape like 2015, 2015. I dropped that 2016, and I named it that because I was starting to come out my shell. But even then, I didn't understand the power that words can have on other people. And now with this podcast, it's like that next evolution of me realizing, like, damn, yo, like my words really got power over other people, and they got power over myself. I don't think people understand that if you say it and you believe it, that it could come true along with the work that you put in. But it happens, yo. That's what I believe. I believe because I seen it. Can't nobody tell me that is not the truth. Now, I don't know how long it might take to get what you want, but if you say it and you believe it and then you put the work and the effort behind it, it can happen. It can happen, yo. And so, like I said, like the goals going forward is this podcast, King of the Berries podcast, is a priority. is going to continue to be a priority. I'm gonna keep dropping gems. I got some stuff in the tuck for y'all right now that like I'm just trying to get edited and get rolling out. Like I got a couple lined up where I could hopefully it'll start the ball and get my momentum going where I could be a little bit more consistent. Cause really what I was doing before was I would record and then I would edit and then I would drop, but I didn't have nothing else left. So now I'm trying to stockpile a little bit now. So I got some stuff coming for y'all, but man, it's just touching to know how a voice, some little old me can help somebody with just a podcast, yo. With not even seeing somebody, I can help somebody and touch somebody and make them feel better about their situation. So it's just so amazing, man. But like I said, 2020 focus is this podcast, the Rebuilding Men support group. We got I got the clothing line that I'm continuously working on. That's a little bit lower on the list. Um, but that's still a focus. Nocrates clothing line. Be on the lookout for that. Financial service businesses and things like that. If you got any questions, just hit me in my inbox. And we could talk. Like I'm really trying to go out here and help people with basic financial planning. And like people that know me, they know what I do for a living. So um, and I'm in the financial service industry. So like basic financial planning, help getting people game plans and stuff together. Like, yo, just hit me up and we could try to make something happen. If you're in the anywhere near the Richmond area, I travel. So just hit me up and let me know. And we can make some stuff happen. So focusing on that. And those are like 2020, I'm trying to start my mogul chase. I'm trying to get myself to that next level far as like business and finances. Last year I had to get myself mentally 2019 I had to get myself mentally prepared. I had to get myself mentally straight from everything that happened in 2018. So 2019 was about getting myself mentally prepared, continue to work on my self-improvement to get my confidence up, like speaking to women and stuff like that. Get all that stuff out the way so I ain't have to worry about that. So now that 2020 here, I could really focus in on like getting my business together, getting businesses to the next level. And then also my number one priority is always taking care of my daughter, making sure my daughter's set. My daughter getting older, she's gonna be turning 5 this year. Man, that just sounds crazy even saying out. Like my daughter gonna be turning 5, but my daughter gonna be turning 5 this year, and she's starting to want more stuff. All my parents out there know, as the children get older, they require more money. So like, I gotta get myself financially set so that anything my daughter wants and that she works hard for and deserves, I want to get that for her. I don't want to have to tell her no. I don't never want to have to tell my daughter no because I don't have the financial acumen to get it. I don't have the financial stability to get something for her. I want to tell my daughter no for a reason of like that, hey, you gotta work for this. Just cause your dad got money don't mean you get everything with no work involved. Like I want to make sure I teach my daughter that hard work, that dedication, and like learn how to figure it out on her own. Like I just want to instill that in her. But my daughter getting older, and my daughter deserves the world. She deserves everything in this world. I got an amazing daughter. So I gotta go out here and work hard and grind for her. You know what I'm saying? Like last year I had to get myself mentally prepared and get myself mentally stable for my daughter. Now that I feel like I'm in a good place mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, now it's time to get this money, yo. Like that's what I'm out. That's what I'm about. Like I'm about building an empire. I'm about taking shit over. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta go get it. And so that's what this 2020 is, the year to go get it for me. It's the year to go get it. Like all my spiritual stuff, all my emotional stuff, all my mental stuff, and even my physical body, getting my physical body straight. That's something big for me this year. But All that stuff I continuously work on. Like that's just ingrained in me now. Like I'm going to continue to read books. Do at least a book a month. I'm going to continue to like get in touch with my higher power, work on my spirituality, meditate, practice thankfulness, practice stillness, practice mindfulness. I'm going to continue to do those things. I'm going to continue to work on my emotional intelligence, uh, learning how to think before I speak, doing things like that. Like I'm going to work on all of that stuff, but my focus, my goals that I want to accomplish is really about like just helping more people, like giving to more people. And the way I do that is through my podcast, through my support group, through the financial business, and just going out, man, and just being genuine and open with people. That's what my plan for 2020 is. It's to really just focus in, man, and get myself financially together, because where I want to go and the plans that I got, like I gotta get money, yo. We all gotta get money, man. All my people out there, if y'all out here and y'all complain about you being broke and you don't have no money, shoot, go out here and get it by legal means. It's so many ways to make money. It's so many ways to make money. Like women out here that like you like to do makeup, man, be a makeup artist. My guys out here that that like sports and stuff. I got a homeboy, he's starting his own sports podcast. He like to talk about sports. I'm like, yo, bro, like podcast is in right now. Why don't you just start a podcast? Go out here and podcast. You got to put a lot of groundwork for all my people that want to start a podcast. It take a lot of groundwork. It take a lot of consistency, and it takes time to really get these podcast things really jumping and to start really making real money from it. Like it take a while, man, but I don't do my podcast for this podcast. I don't do for money. I don't do this podcast for money. For real, the real reason I do this podcast for myself, for real. I go back and listen to every single podcast because I gotta go back and edit everything. Like I do editing, I do everything myself. So I gotta go back and I listen to all my podcasts, and I can see the growth and my comfort level with myself as I continue to go forward. Like, and it's amazing to me. And so, like, the podcast I don't do for the audience. Like, I talk to y'all like I talk to myself. The things that I talk about, my topics that I talk about, I might be talking to y'all as listeners, but really, I'm really talking to myself to get myself straight, to hold myself accountable. And then I just hope that the listeners can relate to it and that it can help the listeners out there. Because I know I'm not the only one that's going through the situations that I've gone through. I know I'm not the only one that thinks about these podcast topics. I know I'm not the only one. And so what it does for me, man, it really, this podcast helps me. And I think that's why it's starting to relate to some people, is because, bro, I'm talking to y'all like I'm talking to myself, man. Like I sit here, I record my podcast in my room. I record my podcast in my car. Like I use a phone to record these podcasts. I got studio equipment up there that I use, but it don't feel intimate to me. It don't feel intimate to me. Like I put my headphones on, I set my mic and everything up, and yeah, my quality might not be the best, but like it's the feel that I get. So the things that I have in my head, it come out easier like this. So I just keep doing it. I just keep recording on my phone. It feels natural. It feels more natural to me. And that's why I want this podcast to be. I want the podcast to be natural. Like I want it to be all of my thoughts coming from my head. I formulate it, I think about it, and then I want it to come out my mouth and give it to y'all as real and as raw as I possibly can. That's what I want to do. And I mean, I love my podcast, yo. I love my podcast. I love my listeners, bro. I don't got that many listeners today. I think the most plays I got on a video is like 26. But do you know I'm hype about that 26? I'm hype about one play. I'm hype about that. The fact that one person would click play, and I don't care how long, but somebody thought enough and cared enough to even click play. I don't care if it was for 1 second. If they hear dun dun and then just cut it off. I don't care if they didn't even listen to any of the words I say. The fact that somebody clicked on my podcast one time, let alone 26 times or like 24, wherever I was at. I think I was at like 24. Probably changed by the time this come out. The fact that somebody clicked on it and cared enough to listen or to just click on it, even if it was by mistake, I don't care. It means so much. So imagine what it mean to me when people message me and be like, man, yo, your podcast really helped me through a tough time. Or man, like, yo, your podcast, like, it really touched me. Like, yo, you doing your thing. Imagine how that feel. If I'm telling y'all I'm appreciative of one click on my podcast. Those people that tell me that, bro, like, I appreciate y'all so much. The people that listen to this, I appreciate y'all so much. You don't got to. I know my podcast is long as hell. I know my podcast, I got a 10-minute one, I got a 20-minute one, I got a 30-minute one, I got 40 minutes, I got 50 minutes. I know the podcast is long, bro. Or sis. You guys excuse me. I'm just me, bro. I say bro a lot. But I'm so appreciative of every little thing that I get, man. Like it get me emotional because growing up, I never felt like I ain't gonna say never. It just felt like my voice wasn't important. I felt like if I talked, nobody would care or nobody would want to listen. And now the fact that if one person listen, man, if I can help one person, if I can affect one person, if by me putting myself out here can help one person, yo, then it's been worth it. All the work I put in on myself, all the writing I did, all of the trials and the tribulations I've been through, all of the people talking about me, all of the jokes that's been made about me, all of that stuff is worth it, man. I'm bold enough to put myself out there. I put myself out there because I want to show a spirit of not being afraid. I want to show a spirit of like, yo, if you put yourself out there, somebody out here can relate to you. Yo, y'all, I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all so much. I love y'all so much, man. It's just, I don't think y'all understand. I don't think y'all really don't understand. And it's not even a lot of people that came to me and told me that. It's not even a lot of people that listen. But it's not about that, yo. It's about the fact that somebody listened. Somebody listened to me. I don't got much. I'm staying at home with my parents. I done been through divorce. I got my daughter going between 3 different households. I don't got a lot of money. I drive a regular old car. And yet somebody care enough and can feel where I'm coming from that it could help them. It can make a difference possibly in their lives, yo. I'm an average person that's striving to do extraordinary things. I'm an average person striving to do extraordinary things, yo. And anything that I could do, any of y'all could do. Anything I could do. I'm no better than nobody. I'm no better than nobody. I'm 5'9", 165, 30 years old. I'm an average person. I just wanna do so much. I wanna help so many people. It's just, man, it's just touching. And sometimes it get overwhelming because I've put a lot of work into myself. I put a lot of work to get to this point, to be able to even share with y'all, man. To just be able to share and put myself out here. And the fact that like I legit didn't help people. man. Man, it's just amazing, y'all. All the people that's going through tough times and struggling, yo. You can make it through. You can do it. Stay positive. Give yourself positive talk. Get yourself out of negative situations. Don't feel bad for yourself. Don't pity yourself. Change your situations. If you want your situations to change, if you want other people to change, you change yourself. You do the work on yourself and everything else will change. I'm telling you that because I know it. It's happened for me. It's happened for me, yo. Man, 2019, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap it up because y'all going to mess around and have me crying on here. But 2019 was the year of growth. Like, I grew so much. I learned so much. I legit learned so much, man. And I grew so much. And like I said, the first half was about rebuilding my confidence, self-growth, self-love, and and courting, dating. That's what that first half was about. And then the second half was about getting myself financially together and working on getting financially straight and getting back focused on my businesses. And in 2020, man, it's time to just take it up to the next level. It's the transformation year. It's the transformation, man. And I'm gonna keep y'all up to date with major milestones and everything that's going on with me. Uh, man, y'all family. My listeners are family. Like I done shared a lot of personal and deep stuff with y'all. Y'all is my family. And I just want to let y'all know, like, I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all so much. And we got some big stuff that's gonna be coming in 2020. Like we gonna really launch this thing off and we gonna we gonna do it big. I know this is gonna be a big year for us as the King of DeBerry family. Um, man, that's all I really got to say, man. I just love y'all so much. Y'all done see me from my darkest times to some of my best times. And y'all listened and y'all been there and hopefully y'all learn from my mistakes so y'all don't have to go through them. And I hope that y'all learn from my mistakes so you understand that, yo, you're not the only person that's going through it. If you going through the same thing I went through, you're not the only one, and you can come out better. You can come out better. You don't gotta be bitter. You don't gotta blame other people. We learn to take accountability and we move forward. Wherever you at in life is based on your decisions. It's based on your decisions. I'm at where I'm at in my life because of my decisions. And I accept that and I'm happy about some decisions and I could have made better decisions with other ones. But at the end of the day, I'm here with y'all, and I'm right where I'm supposed to be at. And I'm gonna continue to keep working. I'm gonna continue to keep grinding. I'm gonna continue to be the best father I possibly can. And yo, it's some great things in store in 2020. So once again, I want to thank y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We made it through a full year of King of the Berries podcast, y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all are the best. I love y'all. Thank you so much, man. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, y'all. Look, man, hey, we out here. It's time to go get it. 2020, the year to go get it. Let's do it.